This is the 1988 Nissan President, Nissan's flagship limousine, a direct competitor to the Toyota Century that I attempted to fit in just a few months back, actually. Go check out that video if you haven't already after this video to see just how similar they really are. It's quite interesting. But today is about Nissan's low production flagship called the President, typically only available to those with ties to high government or finance or business or mobs. The President was produced from 1965 all the way until 2010, and it began production with the H250 series, which was produced from 1965 until 1973. And since production began in 1965, only 56,000 Nissan Presidents have been sold, with Nissan only selling 63 of these in 2009. This one, which we have the absolute pleasure of floating around in today, is the H250 series, introduced in 1973. And while the chassis was the same as the previous generation H250 series, inside and out was now completely upgraded. And in 1982, the President received an update with improved suspension, a larger fuel tank, and the round headlights were replaced with square halogen versions. In 1985, a new trim was added, and it's the top trim level that we have on this one, called the Sovereign VIP. These are stuffed to the brim with very interesting and very quirky 80s tech, such as the cassette deck between the rear seats back there, and power everything. And like the Toyota Century, the Nissan President is a little tight, just a little bit tight in the front seats here, if you're a large, lanky, tall, awkward ogre like being like myself. But that doesn't really matter, because if you're in the front seat of the Nissan President, you don't really matter. According to Nissan, that is. Who does matter is whoever's in the back seat. The rear seat here of the Nissan President is where the stressed out and anxious business leader or mob boss can lay back and relax. It's very comfortable back here. There isn't quite as much legroom as I was hoping for, but thankfully whoever's in the passenger seat doesn't matter either, and you have the controls back here to slide their seat forward or backwards, to recline it forward. Now, as I've been saying, this car is extremely similar to the Toyota Century, but the one thing that this lacks that the Toyota Century had that I thought was very cool was where the cutout is, where you can put your feet through the passenger seat and kind of lay out like a bed. Instead, in the Nissan President, you just have this pretty massive storage compartment here with an unordinary amount of padding on it. As I said, you have the cassette deck back here, as well as all sorts of heating and air conditioning controls. Each of the rear seats have their own cigarette lighter. Now, of course, an executive cruiser like this one isn't powered by a little four-banger screaming for mercy to pull along this 2-ton sedan. Oh gosh, no. This is powered by the Y44E, which is a 4.4-liter V8, a similar design to American-built Detroit V8s, actually, the ones that I'm quite a large fan of. An upgrade from the 4-liter V8 engine used in the previous 150 series President. And it produces a blood-boiling 197 horsepower and 249 foot-pounds of torque. That skyrockets the President to 60 in a mere 11.5 seconds. But I can assure you, the President was quite literally designed to be the opposite of high performance. It was built for pure comfort and relaxation and pleasure, even though things are still a little tight for me in the back seats anyway. It is rear-wheel drive, the suspension is very soft and very supple, and you really don't feel any of the bumps in the road, and the interior is just a really nice place to be. And some of you may be looking at the interior of this full-size flagship sedan and thinking,
"Ha! An expensive luxury cruiser like that, built for only the specialist of the specials, and it doesn't even have a leather interior in it." Well, my 1990 BMW 3 Series that I got from the junkyard from my friend Chad does have a leather interior. Huh. Peasants.
This cloth velour was actually preferred in such a luxury and high-class vehicle like this, as it didn't ever cause any sort of squeaking that leather can sometimes make. It's just quieter, and Japanese execs and mob bosses, they liked that. Low mileage is pretty common on these types of cars like the President and the Toyota Century. This one has just 29,000 miles on it, or 47,000 kilometers. And like the Toyota Century I drove, they're always so clean, as most were kept so well maintained for their prestigious roles. Thank you very much to my friends over at Northeast Auto Imports for allowing me to review this Nissan President. I'll include a link down in the description below to their website and social media, so you can check out the very wide array of interesting cars, trucks, and vans that they have available for sale. But I will see you guys in the next video. Happy motoring.